What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back from my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. This smile on my face lets you know that there is an absolute dominant player backstage waiting to be on this show. For those of you guys that love offensive line play and love true trench bullies, you have clicked on the right episode. I have a treat for you. 2027 four-star offensive lineman Jayden Dean from St. Thomas Aquinas is a absolute monster in the trenches, and he has that incredible versatility. Plays great in space. He's agile, he's quick, fantastic with his hands, explosive. And once he gets his hands on you, only two things can happen: the whistle can blow or you're on the ground. With offers from Colorado, Auburn, Arkansas, Florida State, Florida, Illinois, just to name a few, this is an offensive lineman. If you have not watched, you are in for a treat. But you don't want to hear from me. You're going to want to hear from the superstar himself. So without further ado, the baddest offensive lineman in the class, I don't care, regardless of position, 2027 four-star offensive lineman Jayden Dean. How's it going, bro?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, enjoying my weekend down here in Houston. How has the offseason been for you, brother, since y'all won that state championship?
The offseason has been great. I've been in the weight room, been putting in field work with my. It's been.
I love that. So for those in the chat that weren't watching week to week, give us a recap on what this last season was like for you in St. Thomas Aquinas, obviously culminating in a ring. But what was that year like for you in the squad?
I mean, it was for us. It was really an eye opener. Like St. Thomas lost 3 games in so long. Really, we really just had to tighten up after those 3 losses and really lock in and achieve the goal.
What did you learn from not just yourself, but from the locker room as well after having those couple losses? Because the little bit of doubt starts creeping in from the outside. You start hearing that outside noise. So you got to buckle down and really rely on that brotherhood. What is something you learned from the squad during that period where y'all had to overcome some adversity?
I learned from the squad that we gonna bend, but we ain't gonna break. I ain't heard none of the guys doubt us. I ain't heard none of the coaches doubt. We all had our head locked in, ready to win the state championship.
And that winning culture, that winning atmosphere, it seems like it's in those colors that are on your chest right now. When we hear y'all say things like brotherly love, what does that mean in that locker room? Obviously, we know it's something that you guys live by, but from a player that actually lives it and breathes it, when you hear brotherly love, what does that mean to you?
Really, we one band, one sound. You go, we go. That's what we say. If you go,
Yes,
we
sir.
right behind you.
I love, and y'all gonna see on the field, they mean that. On defense, all 11 fly to the football. On offense, everybody does their job. So fundamentally sound. But you're someone who is driven, not just by success, but you're driven, period. Like you said, state championship, right back into the weight room. Where does that competitive fire come from, Jaden? Because it's easy for some people to say, all right, let me take a week and just relax, or I got to take a visit, so let me take a couple of days. But for you, it was right back to the work. Where does that hard work ethic come from?
Freshman year at Miami Northern, we played Berkeley Prep in the championship. We fall short 8 points, and I remember that feeling. So I'm like, nah, never again. Keep working.
That competitive fire came from a fire. It literally came from you being thrown in a fire and being like, you know what, never again. But you got thrown in the fire even earlier than that, starting on varsity as an 8th grader. What was that experience like?
I walked in there cocky. I was real cocky. You. They humbled me though, and that's where I got humbled, and I had to lock in, hit the weight room some more, and my 8th grade season, it was good, but we fell short 2nd round playoffs.
I would imagine that early experience helped you too, especially when you got into St. Thomas Aquinas, when you got into a new locker room. You had that, hold on, let me make sure I don't say nothing too crazy yet. Because I remember when I said something a little crazy in 8th grade. But I love that you've had that journey and you've had those experiences to learn from, not just starting in 8th grade and having to realize, all right, I need to earn my stripes here too. Like, I may be like that, but I still got to earn my stripes here. And then having the freshman year where, all right, fell short in the playoffs. All these combined to make the monster that we see in front of us. And then that success starts equating to recruiting. So one of the most impressive offer sheets you are going to see. We're going to get into some of these. If we did all of them, I would essentially kidnap him for the next 20 hours. But that first one is always special, Jaden. Do you remember that moment when you got your first offer?
I remember it like it was yesterday. October 8th, 2023, 6:30 p.m.
Oh, the day, bro.
University of Colorado, man.
What was that experience like?
It was when I heard him say he was going to offer me, I started crying because it was like tears of joy. I'm like, man, my hard work I'm starting to get recognition now. My hard work's starting to pay off.
I love that. And that hard work pays off in different ways. It pays off with the offers, but it pays off in the rankings as well. So when you see an interior guy, you typically don't see an interior guy ranked as high as your rank. And it's no disrespect to interior guys. It's like that in the NFL too. Unfortunately, you don't normally see a guard go high. So when you see 4-star, one of the best offensive linemen, regardless of sites, that is being a bit of a trailblazer as an interior guy. What was that day like when you got that ranking and you saw like, oh, I'm up there with bookend tackles? Like, what was that feeling like for a guy that I know prides themselves on putting the work, but you also want to get the results from the work as well?
I seen that like third period in school. I seen it. So I go on my Chromebook and I type in rivals. I type my name in. It says number 12 in the state, 121 in the nation. I'm like, wow, because I've never seen. It's been so long since I seen a center come out of South Florida, and I see like I'm about to do it. So I see myself making a difference, and I'm like, thank you God, because it wouldn't have happened without him.
How much pride you take in that too? And now there's a freshman at St. Thomas, still at Norland, that's going, man, Jaden did it. I can do it too. Like, I don't need to move the tackle. I don't need to move the defense. If it can be done now, you're showing those South Florida interior offensive linemen to put in the work, and it can be done. How much pride do you take into that?
A lot, because it's a lot of hard work behind this. It's not like it was all given to me. I had to.
Yes, sir.
A lot of nights I'm up doing push-ups, sit-ups, just because I'm bored. So it's off now.
And when we talk about that hard work paying off, when we talk about offers, we got to start. Obviously, we started with your first one, but we got to start with the reigning national champions, not just the offer. They don't seem like they let you go a week without a graphic, without a reminder. What was that like getting that offer from Ohio State? And what's that relationship like with the Buckeyes?
That one was great. I'm in my coach's office eating lunch. Coach Bates walk in. I shake his hand, and Coach Harriet walks out. He says, "You come here." He calls me and Mark Matthews. That's another 2027. It's my guy. We walk in there. He's talking to us, and he was like, "Yeah, coach, we're gonna offer those two." So I'm holding my composure until I walk out. I start jumping off the wall. That was a great feeling right there.
And then to get to see them win the national championship, because I know obviously as they're recruiting you, they're telling you like, Jaden, we special this year, bro. Like it's different this year. What was it like getting to see them actually pay off on those things? Because I'm sure they're telling you like, hey, JJ, we gonna do something really cool this year, and then getting to see that. I know you're building that relationship with that staff. So how cool was it seeing them win that ring this year?
That was real cool to see them win the ring, especially for the guys coming out of South Florida like Brandon Ennis and JJ. It was great.
And because now they can reach back and tell you how it was or how it was this past year, because you got guys that grew up going to the same camps you went to, playing on the same fields you went to. So I like that you have someone there that you could talk to. Hey, Brandon, what's it really like in the locker? Hey, what was it like when y'all won? What was it? I love that you have those connections there. So let's stay in the Big Ten for a second. When we talk about Penn State, we think trench football, we think smash mouth, we think hard-nosed football, we think linebackers and offensive linemen. So it had to be rewarding getting that offer from Penn State. What was that day like?
I got Penn State the day I like the same day I announced I was transferring to St. Thomas. Like an hour later, Coach Harriet texted my dad. He got an offer from Penn State.
Well, that's instant. That's crazy.
That was
That's got to be that one had to be a little unexpected, right? Because you're probably thinking, okay, they probably gonna want to see me at my new school. All these coaches, they want to come talk to me. The day after, Penn State's like, hey, what's up, bro? We got an offer for you. That had to be interesting.
That day was a great day.
And then we if I don't talk about some of the hometown schools, I'd be remiss because growing up there, I know these are the schools you watch. These are the schools that you wanted offers from and you wanted visit requests from. So when Florida shoots the offer, when you get that offer from the Gators, what was that day like for you and the family?
That Florida was one that me and the family were waiting on. We were waiting on that one, man. And shout out to that offer me, man. I really appreciate that.
So when people talk about Coach Napier, they say he's such a player's guy, like he's just a cool coach. Did you get that same vibe from him as well?
I never got to meet Coach Napier yet.
I hear he's great. Like I haven't had a player on here that hasn't said, like when I mention his name, they're like, yo, like almost like they're talking about a homie. Like that it sounds like they're talking about a friend. How much does that impact your relationship with coaches? Do you like coaches that are a bit more player friendly or coaches that you feel like you can relate to?
Yeah, I love that because if I can relate to them, they can relate to me and they know where the background I come from and they know, they know my story. They know why I'm going so hard.
And obviously, staying in Florida, when you got those hometown schools, they know what you've been through. Like I said, these are coaches that have been in those same stomping grounds. So you get the offer from FSU. That's got to be another rewarding day, the same way the Florida was. What was that day like when the Seminoles shot the offer?
That one was crazy. That at the end of the day, I get a text from Coach Harriet. Come to my office when the bell rings after school. I walk in there. I see Coach Norvell. I shake his hand. Me and Coach Norvell talking. And he's like, I like you, man. I'm gonna come back in the spring, come see you. So I get in the car with my mom. Me and my mom were talking. I was telling her how I was talking to Coach Norvell for Florida State, and Coach Harriet calls me. He's like, JD, come back to my office. I was like, Coach, I'm in the car going back home. He was like, tell mom, turn around. Mom, mom, I'm walking to the office. I see Coach Norvell sitting there waiting for me. Stands up. He's like, yeah, Jaden, me and Coach Harriet, we just watched the film, man. You're dominant for a 27, man. I like you. So we're gonna make you a Noel. Congratulations.
That had to be insanely rewarding, Jaden. Not just getting to your coach's office thinking, okay, this is probably about a school or this is probably about something. But no. Head coach is sitting there. Then he watches your film and clearly told your coach, hey, can you get him back here now? Like I know he's leaving, but I need him back here now. How rewarding is it when you get an offer, when you know that coach just sat down and watched your film and instantly he's like, I need this young man.
That's great. That's just showing me that, I put in like the work, the weight room, push-ups, all that is building up. The football IQ, all that is coming together and it's showing.
It's that proof of concept that I like to talk about is all right. The extra lift, the extra run, the extra rep, all this is paying off. It's paying off into something. It's those long nights, so staying up late because it's like, man, I need an A on this test. I got to keep my grades up. All that stuff. When you get that offer, I would imagine it's a rush of all those emotions and just validation that, all right, I got to keep going hard. So before we get into film, there's a couple schools I got to talk about because there's there's a ton of out-of-state schools on that offer sheet. But one of them you've had the chance to visit, Maryland. What was that experience like getting to visit Maryland and getting to see what that staff is like in person?
Going up to Maryland was great. I got one of the D tackles I played with at Miami Northern my freshman year, Dimitri Nichols. He's there, and he showed me around the school. And I met the coaching staff, and it was great up there. I like the atmosphere too. The weather's not too bad. It was great.
As a South Florida kid, you notice he was like, "All right, weather's great up here." That's what was that? Side note, y'all. How did you deal with the snow? Because y'all had a little bit of snow recently. It was cold. How did you deal with that?
In Miami, we didn't get snow. It was just cold.
So that's another thing about Florida. Florida's so big. It's kind of like Texas, where so some places up north got snow. Y'all just got the cold. What
And
was it? Was it weird in South Florida dealing with extreme cold?
for like in the morning it was cold, and then like towards like the afternoon it got a little hot, and then once it got dark, like nighttime, it was cold again.
Yeah, that's how it was in Texas. It was like 40 in the morning. You got to take your jacket off at lunchtime. And then by the time night came, you walking the dogs and it was just freezing. So that's always interesting to me how it is in states like Florida, because y'all deal with the same weather I deal with. So before we get into this dominating film, there is a school that does play in the cold a little bit that you didn't just have an offer from, but you got to visit as well. Last year's national champions, another team that when you think Michigan football, especially during this Harbaugh era, that is smash mouth, old school football. When you got that offer from Michigan, how cool was that? And what was that experience like getting to visit?
That was a great one. I got the offer when I was on the visit. I was
That's awesome.
Me and my stepdad, we went to Ann Arbor. We got shown around. We got in a meeting with the strength conditioning coach. Got to meet Coach Alfred, the running backs coach, and they told me to walk in Coach Newsom's office, the offensive line coach. Me and Coach Newsom were talking, and we're watching film. He wanted to see what my IQ was, so he drew up some plays. He told me draw it up how we'll block it, and then he turned on the film on the screen, and he has me talking, breaking it down for him. And he asked me, "Do you like Michigan?" I was like, "Yeah, I love Michigan." He was like, "Great, because we're gonna make you a Wolverine." And he offered me, and I was just happy.
You should have told him, like, bro, y'all's colors are my colors. It's the same. It's the same color scheme. Really, you just changed the logo. I love that. Not just sitting down watching film with you, but he was like, "How much does he actually know film?" So I gotta ask, how much is film study a big part of your game, Jayden?
Film study is a big part. Like, Coach Harriet wants us watching film 24/7. He does. He's like, you have to watch film. If you don't watch film, you don't play.
Then the tenacity. When you get your hands on somebody, it's just about over for them. Can you speak to that tenacity that you have to have as an offensive lineman, where it's like once my hands are on you, it's either the whistle or you're on the ground?
As an offensive lineman, you gotta be nasty. You gotta be dirty. You can't be nice. You gotta want to put somebody in the dirt, because coaches love to see that.
And then, so what was really cool about y'all in the state championship is you guys have weapons galore on that team last year. On the outside at tight end, y'all buckled down and ran the football down somebody's throat. Chance got MVP of that game. But when you do get a running back that gets MVP of that game like that, that's also the offensive line's MVP as well. How rewarding was that to see that performance y'all put on, where everyone's gonna look at y'all and think, oh, they're gonna spread it out. But in that game, it was y'all versus somebody else, blowing guys off the ball and allowing your senior running back to close off his high school career with an MVP in a state championship game. How cool was that from an offensive lineman's perspective?
That was great. That was real great, because people thought we weren't gonna be able to run the ball. They thought we was gonna run 5 wide the whole game, because they were gonna come out they came out with a 3-4. So first play of the game, we ran the ball down their throat. Then they gave us a little 5 down. We still ran the ball, but at the same time, we're airing it out too. So that was a great game, and that was a great experience for me too.
If I had to put you on the spot, I feel like I know this answer, but I'm gonna ask you. If I had to ask you, what's more enjoyable for you? When you're blowing somebody off the ball, blocking them out the frame on a run play, or when you know you got a dominant interior pass rusher in front of you and you've shut him down? What's more enjoyable for you?
I like when I shut down dominant interior pass rushers, like all the guys that's ranked high or committed to these big schools, because then if I shut them down, that put me on the map.
Yes,
Why
sir.
this 27 just shut down this, this Michigan commit.
Do you feel like as a younger player, it was a bit different this year for you in this locker room? Because yeah, you're young. You're a 2027 prospect, but you've been starting on varsity since in 8th grade. So you're a bit of a veteran at this now. You feel like it was a bit different going into this year, being more of a vocal leader and being someone that guys can rely on?
Um, yeah, it was a little different. It wasn't much different, but it was a little.
What kind of leader is Jayden Dean? Are you more the watch me and lead by example, or are you grabbing somebody's face mask and telling them what needs to happen?
I I'm more of a I don't I'm more of a watch me. I'll show you a couple times, and then you just get it from there.
Another thing I love about your film is the versatility you have, the ability to perfect clip, to be in space as well, to be athletic. Have you always been that athletic and agile?
No.
He said that like, bro, this came from work. Where does that athleticness come from? Because when we do see you move, when we do see you pull, it's smooth. You look like you're a natural at it.
It wasn't always. It came when I was about 13. That's when all of the athleticism came, and then once that happened, coaches seen I could run. They seen I could pull. They seen I could block. They seen I was quick on my feet.
So something that's really awesome, Jaden, that I didn't even know was a thing before I first did my eval on you. You're gonna get to represent not just St. Thomas Aquinas. You're going to get to literally represent your country at the World Junior Championships. How cool is that of an opportunity?
That was great. I love that.
That had to be super rewarding because again, getting the ranking is one thing, getting the offers is one thing, but it's another one of those stamps that I'm clearly doing something right. How happy was that a moment, not just for you, but for the house, for your parents, knowing that you're representing not just St. Thomas, not just your family, their last name, but you're representing all of us on that line.
That was great. Mom cried a little bit, not too much. Cried a little bit because she's like, wow, look at my firstborn. He's doing it. So
And
like, mom,
I know she heard you saying for years that, this is your dream, this is your goal to play at the next level and the level after that. So that has to be super rewarding for her to get to see that. And I know she's happy when you get offered. What I wanted to ask you comes up right away on your film. It's almost like like you knew this was coming. Having the versatility up front to starting at tackle, moving inside, but being able to play all 5 positions is invaluable at the next level. How much pride do you take in that and being a guy that when you get to college, if your freshman year, there's not a spot at center, they can play you at left guard, they can play you at right guard, they can play you at tackle. How much pride do you take in being that guy that can play all 5 positions up front?
I take a lot of pride in that because like you said, when I go in college, there's a lot of guys trying to get to where I'm trying to get. So if there's not a spot at center, I can go to left guard. If there's not a spot at left guard, I can go to right guard.
Who's some of the offensive linemen you look up to? Some of the guys you like to study? Not because not many people can play all 5, Jaden. There's a lot of people going to say they can, but that's fine. But everyone can't, not effectively. So who are some of the guys you like to look up to?
Right now, like my favorite, in my opinion, I feel like he's the best offensive lineman to ever step foot on planet Earth. Trent Williams.
Oh yeah. That's a monster. What about his game do you love?
Aggressive. He'll run through his own teammate just to make the block, and I like. I've seen him do it multiple times.
Did you used to play defense? Where does that come from? The way you there we go. Because the way you approach the game and think about the game, it's tenacious. That's the best way I could describe it. You feel like playing defense helped you on the offensive side?
It helped me be more aggressive. I'll say that because playing defense, you can't be soft. Especially playing D tackle, can't be soft either. So it helped me be more dirty, more nasty with the game.
That makes so much more sense to me because every one of your answers is like, I want to hit somebody, but you can no longer hit somebody. So now it's like, I'm going to just pancake. If I can't hit you, my first punch is going to be strong. You're going to feel that. And then I'm going to put you on your back. That defensive mentality clearly has never left you. So before I get you out of here, there's some schools I got to talk about because as an interior guy, having these SEC offers just has to be rewarding because when you think about trench football, you think about the Big Ten, you think about the SEC. Getting that A&M offer, how cool was that when you got that offer from the Aggies?
That was real cool. I got that one. I think I got that one after my game at Northern. That one was cool. I love that one. And I got Ole Miss before the game at Northern.
Really?
Right before like the team they warming up in the stretch lines, and my head coach, Coach Berg, he called me over like, phone call for you. It's my stepdad on the other line. He was like, y'all warming up? I'm like, yeah. He was like, all right, I'm gonna call you back. I give Coach back the phone. He called me again. I'm on the phone with Ole Miss. We're talking to Ole Miss, and he's like, yeah, man. So far, I love your film, so we gonna offer you right now.
That's literally in warm up. That's what I mean when I say you're a priority to a coach. When they told that Ole Miss coach, yeah, he's warming up for the game, and he said, I don't care. I would like to offer him right now. That's a different level of I need him to know I'm a priority. And Ole Miss has one of the coolest atmospheres. I mean, Coach Lane Kiffin is a player's coach. He's built something really special up there. How has it been building that relationship with Ole Miss and Coach Kiffin?
That's been great. That's been great. I can't wait to take a visit. I'm gonna try to take a visit in the spring or in the summer, but I can't wait to get up there and experience that.
It just feels like what he's building up there is electric. Now, again, y'all, I do apologize in the chat if we don't get to your school. There is a lot of them, but some of these SEC offers are just interesting. That Auburn offer. Tell me what that day was like when you got that offer from Auburn. Already, so what I love is you can tell these are memories. These are memories that you're gonna have for the rest of your life because every one of them is such a different experience. Bro was warming up and got the Ole Miss. Oh, you'll never forget that. What was that Auburn offer day like?
Now, when I tell you this one, you're gonna be like, wow. I took a visit. I'm on a visit to Ohio State. And, I'm on a visit to Ohio State. We go out to eat with Coach Hartline. So I'm waiting in the car for my uncle to come back because I'm up there with my uncle Brett. I'm waiting in the car for him to come back, and Coach Hare was like, call him now. Receiver coach at Auburn. Got that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Did he know where you were?
I posted it on Twitter. I was like,
yeah, he knew. We all take business. We all know where you are. So yeah, he knew that. Again, that's another coach that's like, oh, he's where? Do that now. I don't need to wait. I don't want to wait. Like if I wait tomorrow, he may have liked this visit too much. So let me get that out now. That's what I mean by 20 years. You'll be able to look back on every single one of these, and there are all these unique, different stories of how you got them and why you got them. But what I love about you, Jaden, is every single one of them, you smiled just as you did when we talked about the first one. Whether it was the biggest offer or the smallest offer, every one of them seems like they really do mean something to you. I love that.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, as someone who works as hard as you do, there's going to be days where your body's sore, where you're tired, mentally you're tired, because you're going to be elite in the classroom as well. So you didn't stay up late studying for a test that you know I want to make sure I get this A on. But meanwhile, your body's sore, your legs are sore. What is it like on those days when your body tells you it can't get out of bed and you still got to keep pushing? What's that why that keeps Jayden Dean moving?
The why is, I have two younger brothers that live. I got my mom, my stepdad, and I lost my grandma like last summer. That's what keeps me going.
I love that. That setting that example for those two younger brothers. No one's gonna be able to tell them their dreams are impossible. Someone's gonna tell one of your young. He may decide I don't even want to play football, man, but like I want to be like a painter. I want to be the best painter that that the world has ever seen. And someone's gonna tell him that's not possible. He's gonna say, "How? My brother was saying he wanted to play football from the time he was like 10, and my brother is playing football. He's at the Dolphins." Like, so what do you that's powerful because no one will be able to tell them no. And they're also seeing someone do it the right way. They're seeing you put the work in. They're seeing, man, big bro, even being tired, he made sure he got his lift in. He made sure he got his run in. Then he studied. Then they see you doing things the right way. So they have to up the standard. They got to either be on par or better. So no one will be able to tell them their dreams are not achievable. And that's a very powerful message to send to your little brothers. So I got to ask you too, what's the goal for next year? Reigning state champion coming into next year. What's the goal for Jayden Dean?
The goal, I'm not even gonna say just for me. The goal for me and the guys back at St. Thomas, we want to win the Natty.
Let's go.
We want to go undefeated and win the Natty.
So after next year, after you dominate a bunch of defensive linemen who, bless their hearts, didn't know what was coming before the whistle blew, we're going to have you back on here so we can sit back, we can watch that film, talk about y'all winning another state championship and that national championship. We're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy that film and recap next year. But until then, let everybody know where they can follow you so that they can keep up with you next year and the following year, because I speak for everyone and the schools that haven't offered you yet. We're all hoping we land you, mine included. Send the offer, please. We're all hoping that we land you. So let everyone know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter.
Instagram, you can follow me at Lil Dean, LILDEAN with 3 N's _, and Twitter, J_Dean34.
And I'm going to put both of those in the description. So all you got to do is click them and go straight to it. I don't care if it's FIU, Bowling Green, Bethune-Cookman, Arkansas, Miami, Florida Atlantic, Florida State, Kentucky. If you are on that, trust me, this is a recruit that you want to follow. You're going to want to keep up with, not just for signing day, but for next year. That team is absolutely loaded. And obviously, we all want to pull up and see how that turns out next year. So anytime those games are streamed, send me the link. I'll make sure I tweet them out so everyone on that list. And if I didn't name you, it's not because I would keep him here for 10 hours. Nebraska, Missouri, if you're a fan of these schools, make sure you're following Jayden, because this is not a recruit you're going to want to miss out on. Jayden, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I cannot wait till next year, see you guys run the table again, have you back on so we can sit back and watch you dominate again.
Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all go follow Jayden right now. Do not wait until y'all see him dominate. You hold on, CB. Like I want to follow him because my school in on him. They already in on him. If I didn't name your school, I promise they're still already in on him. So go follow him right now. Trust me, this is not someone that you're going to want to miss. Like, share, and subscribe. We out.